Howdy, it's Bob again with another episode of Sustainability Afoot, the series where I walk around with one of my colleagues and talk about an aspect of the work our institute does that I don't understand well enough while we struggle not to get too out of breath on our hike. This time I talked with Bijon, who has extensive experience in integrated natural resource management. We talked about the concept of local or regional circulating ecological spheres. CES is a concept proposed by the Japanese government as a guiding approach for policymaking. It prioritizes low-carbon society, circular economy, self-sufficiency, and the harmonized flow of resources between urban and rural areas to achieve sustainability and resilience. This concept is proven to be an effective approach to solving community problems by making sure the needs of all stakeholders are taken into account, ensuring that the solution is come to by the community, and getting buy-in from stakeholders before proceeding. Bijon gave me some examples of CES in the past and how IGES is starting to employ it in projects throughout Asia. I started out the interview by asking Bijon what CES is, but then a motorcycle came through and made it pretty unlistenable, so I'll just start by restating that his first answer to that question, which is that CES stands for Circulating and Ecological Sphere, and then they tag regional or local on the beginning of it, depending on what scale they're working at. And that CES is an integrated approach that uses local resources in a sustainable way that can contribute to the localization of the SDGs. He went on to say that the main objective is the optimum use of locally available resources to achieve a resilient society and a decentralized society. So that's where we'll pick up the conversation. What do you mean by decentralized society?
In every places, they have their unique strength of the natural resources. So using that natural resources in a proper way so that people can, of that particular area, they can use that natural resources in a way that will contribute to the society, to the economy, and to the environment. So this concept actually try to find the simultaneous solution for the social challenges, for the economic challenges, and for the environmental challenges.
So it sounds like what's often called synergies in the business world?
Yes.
Yeah. I guess I'm still a little bit on the decentralized part. You mean it's not cookie cutter approach, it's a case by case approach, or do you mean something different when you say decentralized?
Yes. So it will be case by case approach, and also it depends on the local needs actually. Sometimes this approach focus on the decarbonization. Sometimes this approach focus on the water resource management. Sometimes this can focus on the natural disaster management. So depending on the local needs, local people will decide what should be the entry point of application of this concept in their local context.
Okay, so the decentralized part, I guess, means that it's bottom up and not top down?
Yes.
Okay, so it's decided by the community.
Yes.
It's not policymakers saying you're going to do this.
Main pillar of this concept is the bottom-up approach.
Okay.
So voice should come from the community, and then that will lead to the policy making.
Gotcha. So how do you apply that in practice?
So basically, there are some good example to apply this kind of concept.
Great, I love examples.
Like, I can give you an example of Kanagawa Prefecture,
where we are.
Water resource management.
Okay.
Basically, this concept bring a new dimension of the urban-rural collaboration. Why urban-rural collaboration is necessary for water resource management in the context of Kanagawa Prefecture water management. That is, Kanagawa Prefecture, in Kanagawa Prefecture, we have two big cities, Yokohama
right?
And Kawasaki.
Yeah.
But from where we are getting water supply for these two cities? That is the rural area, in the upstream rural area. The location of the water catchment, even it actually located in the upstream other prefecture, Shizuoka prefecture or Yamanashi prefecture. And as you know that the upstream rural area of Kanagawa prefecture or Shizuoka or Yamanashi, mostly that water catchment area is forest area.
Right.
And 70% of this forest area is actually owned by the private owner.
Okay.
It is not under the government.
Not public land, right.
Not public land. So, if the management in the upstream water catchment area, forest management in the upstream water management area is not adequate, that will actually make a risk for water security in the urban area, like Yokohama or Kawasaki. But
it's scary to think
the private owner of this forest land, they actually not willing, I should not say not willing, but this forest business is not a profitable business anymore in case of Japan, because there are a lot of international timber supply to Japan with a lower price. So this is not a profitable business for Japanese community or the forest owner. That's why for management of this forest, they don't have enough resources for management of this forest. And as you know that in Japan, basically this for timber or the plant, forest plant was planted just after the Second World War. That means from now it is about 50 or 60 years back. And they now become mature. Anyway, we need to actually manage that forest by replacing with the new plant, because these are planted forest actually, not the natural growing forest.
And the cause of a lot of the pollen allergies that Japanese people have right now, right?
So that's why there are many challenges actually for management, and that increased risk of the water supply in the urban area. Then Kanagawa prefectural government come up with the idea how urban-rural partnership can be established to bridge between two systems, urban and rural system, like natural resources, bridging with the capital resources in the urban, natural resources in the rural. Then Kanagawa prefecture started this process, and they established a scheme, water environment conservation scheme. And under this scheme, each residents of Kanagawa prefecture, we need to pay water environment conservation tax. I think many of us, we don't know that one. I'm not sure whether you are aware about this or not.
No.
About 890 Japanese yen we are paying every year for water.
I'll pay that for clean drinking water. For
sure. So that money, how much money they receive from this tax, that goes to the rural area for supporting the forest in the water catchment area. So like that, they are supporting many kind of activities for the better forest management. And it started actually 15 years back.
Okay.
And it's continuing and sustainable. It is a sustainable practice. And there are actually, many people ask me why it is a successful case or the good case. Then I tried to actually identify what is the reason behind it. One of the reason is that they started the program with full consultation with the Kanagawa prefecture residents who live in this. Kanagawa Prefectural government directly talked to the people about this, that this is important for us. And then people convinced with that, and they decided this 890 Japanese yen per year we will pay. And not only that, there is a committee that who will decide how this money will be used for water catchment area management. Mm-hmm. There are actually 25% of this committee comes from the citizens who are the residents of the Kanagawa Prefecture.
Of Kanagawa, okay.
And any individual who are residents of Kanagawa Prefecture, he can apply for this position.
Okay.
So that citizens' involvement is there already in the decision making, how money will be used.
How about people in the rural area? Are they on this committee?
Yes, they are also. They can also be part of this committee if they want. So it is open for everyone. Even I can also apply for this position.
Have you applied?
No, not. Okay. But in the future, maybe I will think.
Okay, so this is an example of CES, but probably the CES concept didn't exist when this was, when we probably at least didn't call this approach CES back then, or maybe we did. How long has the CES?
No, CES actually not, it is some kind of similar practice we already had here and there, but it was not well disseminated, this practice. So this CES concept we bring in the discussion to promote this kind of urban-rural collaboration for the sustainable development, resilient society, climate change mitigation, and more resilient to the natural disaster. So how this urban-rural practice can give this kind of opportunity to realize these different global goals decided by the global leaders.
I see. So I guess generally the starting point of this would be to identify a problem in a community.
Yes.
And then the second step is likely to engage with the citizens of that community, research and talk to them about what resources are available that might apply to this problem.
Yeah, you are absolutely right that the main first step is to identify what is the problem in the community. Mm-hmm. That is the actually main starting point to decide entry point of application of this CES approach. And there are many issues, but need to actually decide appropriate or agreed by all community members that this is the important issues that we need to address through this circulating and ecological sphere approach. That means urban-rural partnership should be there, or the collaboration within the community also we needed. So community should decide that what priority they need to take as a entry point for the circulating and ecological sphere. And the second step, as you mentioned, co-development approach. What you mentioned that what kind of research we need to do, what scientific knowledge we need to generate to support their solution, to identify the solution. So that should be also through the community engagement. It is not that researcher, we will go there and from our understanding, we apply some kind of methodology and then publish it in some journal. That will not help to the community.
Right.
So that's why it is
probably will be rejected by the community too,
yes.
I guess.
So to understand the real fact, we need to engage community in the research work as well. Get them involved, work together with them, identify the necessary actions to apply the CES, to formulate the CES model, as well as apply the necessary activities to achieve this CES model in that particular local community.
So, okay, that brings me to, on the CES point, how do you get started with that? Like, how do you engage with the community at the point where they recognize that there's a problem, I guess, and who is the primary proponent? Who's pushing for this approach?
Okay, basically this approach initiated by the government of Japan.
Okay.
And in the fifth basic environmental plan of Japan is actually adopted this concept as a kind of integrated approach for achieving the localization of SDG.
Right. Okay. So I've heard our president, Professor Takeuchi, mention that he was the chair of the. I don't remember exactly what position he held, but he was working with the government to help establish this environmental strategy at that time, right?
Yeah, I think he is the chair of the National Committee on the Environment of the Ministry of Environment.
Okay.
So as a chair of that committee, he is the main person who proposed this concept to take as a kind of integrated approach for localization of SDG. That's why it is incorporated in the fifth basic environmental plan of Japan.
Is there an example where we're applying this now?
As you know, that Japan government, they declared the net zero by 2050. Uh-huh. And more than, I think, 500 cities of Japan, they also supported the Prime Minister declaration. And they also declared that they will also achieve net zero in the city region level by 2050. And for achieving this ambitious goal in different cities, I should not say city, it's city regions, they already started planning to apply CES approach in their own context.
Okay.
One example is Hyogo Prefecture.
Where Kobe is.
Yes. And in Hyogo Prefecture, it is also supported by Ministry of Environment. And also Hyogo Prefectural Government also supported. Now at this stage, they are trying to actually identify that what are the different renewable energy resources available in the Hyogo Prefecture.
Okay.
And how they can make use of these locally available resources to achieve this net zero. So the process already started.
Okay.
And IGES is a key partner of this initiative in Hyogo Prefecture. So we are closely working with the Hyogo Prefectural Government for application of the CES approach to achieve the net zero. Okay. We also have some example in outside of Japan as well. Like we started application of CES approach outside of Japan with some case study, conducting case study in Bangladesh, in Bhutan, in Nepal, in India, Thailand and Vietnam. And that is the first, just to understand the scientific background, that where this CES approach can be applied in each city region context. Suppose as I mentioned, that it fully depends on the local context, local needs. Like in case of Bangladesh, we conducted a case study, and in Gazipur district, and in that district, when we had community consultation meeting, what should be their priority for application of the CS approach, they identify there is a big wetland, and that wetland is very important for the water resources, for flood management, for the livelihood of the local people, for tourism. So they said management of this
Wetlands
is very important. There we need urban-rural partnership, because now this wetland is heavily polluted, and that pollution comes from the urban area basically. And the rural peoples are suffering because of this pollution. They cannot do agricultural practice, they cannot grow fisheries there. So that creates a problem for the rural people. But this rural area or wetland is the main source of the protein food, that means fisheries, for the urban. That is the actually win-win solution need to discuss between urban and rural.
If the cities keep polluting that, then they're poisoning themselves.
Yes, poisoning themselves. And similarly, in case of Nagpur in India, we actually also conducted similar kind of a study, engaged the stakeholders, including city government. And in fact, they also have similar problem of the water resource management, same as the Kanagawa prefecture. And when we presented this Kanagawa case as a kind of good example, and the mayor of the Nagpur City Corporation, she immediately mentioned, we need this approach to manage this water resource management related problem in Nagpur region. And in fact, she came to our ICEP 2019.
Oh, okay.
And in that...
Which is coming up.
Yes.
IGES does this event every year on sustainability, and that's coming up in late November, early December this year.
So that's why even she wrote an email to, official request to IGES to establish a CES model for better management of the water resources in Nagpur region. So there is some kind of acceptance of the CES approach in the other country, but we need to wait several years more to establish a real case.
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah,
the CES model in the developing country.
This is not a quick approach.
Yes, this is not a quick approach. So our approach actually also, we need to bring the regional lessons in a common platform, so that some case can share their lessons to the others to actually support the other city or city region to think that how they can apply this regional CES approach to solve their similar problem or the other kind of problem. So that is the approach we are also having, and for that we already plan a regional level international workshop that we will organize next fiscal year sometime in March or April to engage. Now we are applying, as I told you, that different case study and also engage through that case study. We engage the community, local government, civil society in the platform, and bring them in the regional platform and share their lessons each other. And that will create another opportunity to motivate the other people also take this similar kind of approach. But of course, they will decide that what problem they need to identify, they need to focus, and what actions they need to design.
Right. I imagine that probably even bringing the Kanagawa case there, you needed the communities to consider and adapt that idea to that region. It probably doesn't work. It's lucky if it works exactly the same way in Kanagawa that it does in Kanagawa.
So customization is necessary. That it depends on the local context, that it should be customized.
So let me just see if I understand this, or see if I'm able to link this concept to another concept that I hear about at IGES. Is the Satoyama initiative, or the Satoyama type areas, is that an example of traditional CES, would you say, where their community is taking advantage of their own resources and making things, one thing feeds into the other thing? And
yeah, Satoyama and CES is very much connected actually. Satoyama initiative also focus on the conservation of natural resources and living in harmony with nature. One of the pillar of CES also the living in harmony with nature. So the both approach consider that we should actually take enough care of the nature. So, but on the other hand, the CES, what it mainly focus that integrate the three different things like the environment, economy, society. Brief development of these three simultaneously. So we should not have trade-off. Instead, we should have the synergies between the economic development, environmental development, or the social development.
okay, and so the sphere part of it is that part, I guess.
Yes.
And if you drew it in a diagram with those three items, they'd be in kind of a triangle shape with arrows going back and forth between each one?
Yes.
Okay. That's where that comes into it. Well, thank you very much for explaining it. I think I'm smarter now than I was when we started, so I appreciate
glad
that.
to know that it's you found it informative.
Thank you for listening to About Sustainability. Please subscribe at podcast.iges.jp or search for About Sustainability wherever you normally get your podcasts. If you've got feedback, you can review us on your podcast directory of choice or reach out on Twitter at IGES_EN. About Sustainability is produced by the Institute for Global Environmental Strategies. Any views expressed during the podcast are those of the speaker at the time of recording and do not necessarily reflect the views of IGES. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with us. We don't take that lightly, and we hope you'll join us next time.